morning, class.
Good morning.
Today we'll be discussing the issues of social media. Before social media, children and adults used to do planned visits to see distant relatives, and now through social media, they don't have to try to make their way to go across the state or anything like that to see them. Now they can just talk and text through any social media app or Facebook. Children used to go outside and interact with their neighbors and play, and also, and nowadays they spend more time on their phones than actually getting out there and communicating with the other people. The birth of social media, it's something known as the bulletin board system, and basically these were online meeting places that were effectively independent, and they produced codes that allow people to communicate with each other. This was used for business meetings in case people were far out, so rather than having to have these, to make this big meeting and plan in advance, now they can do it right then and there through the bulletin board system, which was like the pre-internet. And as this continued, other people realized that, hey, we can use this for everybody all over the world when trying to communicate with others. And this gained popularity throughout the 80s as well into the 90s, and that's when the internet truly kicked into gear. And following the internet led to our social media such as Snapchat, Facebook, or anything. Now, social media, through most teens, they use it mostly daily rather than weekly or less often. This graph here shows, in the dark blue, shows how many teens from ages 12 to 17 years old use social media on a daily basis. And this shows less often, showing that most of their time is being taken up through their phones or through social media. My perspective is that in absence of the multiple benefits that social media provides, it distracts achieving a major necessity needed in life in order to continue our species as a whole in good communication. I am making this presentation to show how social media is not all good. As a matter of fact, it provides an important flaw that should be addressed. My other teammates' perspectives will be talking about how social media increases childhood obesity, how it is another source of bullying, as well as it can cause security risks. My specific issue that I want to talk to you guys about is how it can negatively affect young teens and young adults in being skillfully fit for a job. Social media affects this because without the use of social skills needed in a society, people will never be able to do their jobs correctly or land one in the first place. When it's time to do an interview, you must be able to show your boss or the person, the interviewer, that you're willing to communicate well, especially for jobs like being over the phone to call and help somebody, and you need to be able to assist that person in needs, and therefore having good communication skills and helping that person, helping them feel welcome and comfortable in needing to resolve an issue. Social media was made for people to freely express themselves and talk about what they're doing, and now they have restrictions to actually taking advantage of that freedom due to the jobs watching them. So through posting alcohol or inappropriate language and sexual context, social media makes it hard for people to get a job. Like I said, through social media, one of the main goals is to be able to express or see what you are doing, and some people like to do these kinds of activities, and when it's time to get for a job, jobs find your social media account and they see what you have, and if they do not like it and they don't want you to represent that company or that business, they won't allow you to get that job. Also, this shows how it's declining social skills in teens. Through using social media as they grow older, most of them are non-verbal and having eye-to-eye contact or movement, appearance. They tend to look down or look away, and they only use about 35% of their verbal language because they're so used to texting or looking down or having time to come up with whatever they do rather than coming up with a conversation face-to-face with somebody. And this will affect them because as children, when your mind is still developing, if you're not developing to learn how to have good communication skills, when you're older, it will even be hard to try to learn that skill. Teens and young adults will have a tough time landing a job due to the social skills needed that have been demented in social media. For example, this graph here shows how social media is being used, how the jobs rising in the U.S. are more dependent on social skills from 1980 to 2012, which is around when the internet really started to burst or become more popular. Now this blue line here shows how much social skills are needed in order to land a job, and over the years it's going to just continue to increase. And as more social media is being used, now more people will be out of debt. More young teens growing into adults will be out of a job because now they don't have the requirements or the skills needed in order to hold that job or do what the job requires. Addressing the issue so far, given through suggested advices, but no physical action was taken in trying to resolve this issue. For example, a common phrase is unfriend, unfollow, unsubscribe. This is to help you also protect yourself in social media, but also as to where it'll keep you from actually doing so much or being so involved within social media that it'll actually keep you, that'll allow you to be out. But this is all good advice, but there was actually no physical action taken. My solution. I want to have an interaction plan. It's a phone business plan in which parents will agree to a most beneficial cell phone plan that will be helpful in stopping the addiction on using social media. In using this, it will also offer a sweet deal in which families can be able to buy this plan and receive a free electronic device, of course, whatever the chosen by the individual phone companies that family member has. The breakdown. Twice a week there will be an app built into the phone that will be activated or deactivated by the parents only. This will turn off all access to social media, including Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, etc. Phone call and text messages or any apps that will help text that will be needed to have contact with you and your family for emergency purposes, of course, will be permitted by the parent. This will allow children to realize that now they don't have any time to be out there for social media, to be on their phone. Now they can actually be out and work on their communication skills and build up that strength and strengthen that skill. This will affect society because now there will be less time on social media, as I said before, and this will give them the opportunity to look for something productive to do, to look for something else to do. They will be able to look for jobs, find something that they can help with. They will be able to call someone if needed to have a good relation, to also build up communication skills, as well as go out. All of these will help increase communication skills between one and the other, and this will help. Thank you very much.